Welcome back to ITV's World of Sport. A joyous safari through the sporting savannah of yesteryear. So what do you think of the show so far? Rubbish? No way.
One of World of Sport's greatest ever coups was in casting an exciting new double act in the Christmas of 1977.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to World of Sport. And on this very special Christmas Eve edition, can I start by thanking you all so very much for the Christmas cards you kindly sent to us. It's good to know that we have so many friends out there. It's also good to know that we can spend a bit of that Christmas with you. Today, although our programme is shorter than you...
Excuse me. Sorry I'm late.
You've arrived?
Yes, I was on the last plane. That one there.
When I met Dickie, and I have to say, and I'm not sure whether he's been a tinker or not, Dickie told me that what had happened was, Eric Morecambe and he were very good mates, they were close mates. He told me that Eric had been at his house the night before and they'd accidentally got drunk. And then when Dickie was leaving the house, Eric said, "Can I come along with you?"
And he'd said to me, look, he said, "I'll do the funnies. You just carry on as if I'm not there. You just carry on and be yourself and do the business." Which I think I did. And he was hilarious.
About the same size as Ernie. Let's have a look. Yes, about the same size. Just about the same size as Ernie.
I can't understand why somebody from the BBC wasn't on the phone after the first link saying to Eric Morecambe, "What are you doing? It's ITV, do you mind? It's a contract. There must be agents, lawyers going." But Eric sat there and he was there the whole afternoon, as I recall, and basically proceeded to make Dickie Davis' corpse as often as he possibly could, by all sorts of methods.
For today, another world-class presentation of this popular pastime with the first ever World Cup. Throwers from 18 nations gathered in London to contest this trophy from as far afield as Japan, Australia and Bermuda.
Oh, what?
And a tough task faced the visiting countries when you consider the strength and depth enjoyed by England, Scotland and Wales. Now, as the event moved into the final stages, it became clear that the home countries were not about to let things slip.
He was the funniest man I think I've ever met. Funniest man. And the kindest man, too.
You've got two of the greatest icons of the 70s presenting a programme together live. It should be a seminal TV moment, but it seems to have fallen off people's radar, and I'm not quite sure why that is. I'm not sure. You see all these polls of great sport moments of the 70s, or great comedy moments of the 70s, that should be in both.
And eventually it was England and Wales who would have been in the final, which included triples, doubles and singles. We joined the action midway through an enthralling triples competition. England, having stormed into an impressive 4 legs to 1 lead, were hauled back by the never-say-die Welshman. So much so that with just 2 legs to play...
The last time I saw anything like that top lip, the whole herd had to be destroyed.
It's real!
Bring me sunshine, bring me... Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise we were back. Anyway, now for some cup soccer. And I did say cup soccer.
Cup final day was the jewel in the year, really. And it would start, I think it might even start even before 9:30, where you were with the two teams right the way through.
Cup final day was basically, that's all you did. As a kid, you got up, you had your breakfast, and then you watched the cup final.
We have a programme that we are convinced will stimulate, excite and entertain you for 6 hours. That may sound a long time, but there's going to be so much happening it really will fly by.
Who do you all support? And what do you think of Fulham? I'm not sure if we should show that.
Cup final day might have seemed like all your birthdays and Christmases rolled into one, but if you worked for the two main broadcasters, it was more like the space race meets World War III.
We were always looking for new ideas because BBC were the #1 sporting channel, and we had to find ways to get BBC viewers to have a look at our channel.
Over on BBC, they're probably doing some kind of dull analysis of the third round game. So what we'll have is Jimmy Tarbuck introducing a bloke in a straitjacket in a big tank of water.
Are you ready up there, Cat? 1, 2, 3, go! Remembering this is the trick that killed Harry Houdini.
And we had some stars. I mean, we had Freddie Starr, on one occasion. I mean, looking for Humphreys in the net. He was the referee, walked out, dressed up as Hitler in his wellies, and it was hilarious.
So what about the pitch itself?
Well, I've got to look now for the Humphreys.
What are the Humphreys?
The Humphreys?
Yeah.
Watch out, there's a Humphrey about!
What we used to try and do is to try and introduce celebrity into it. We had a celebrity bar over in the conference centre.
Well, I was with the company and they said, do you want to do the cup final day? Well, I mean, that's like saying to a little boy, do you want to go in Hamley's toy shop and you can have anything you want in Hamley's? And I went, yes, please, at Wembley, and you can bring heroes on and we'll find people. Well, did they find people?
You know, ladies and gentlemen, we are filming here later. Rod Stewart's going to buy a drink and it's called Tales of the Unexpected.
English money, too. English money.
On behalf of Elton, Smiler here, see you all soon.
In the early days of my time on World of Sport, FA Cup final day, I was man in the crowd.
Let's call in our man in the crowd again, Fred Dinage.
Still the big problem down here is tickets or the lack of them. Thousands of fans without tickets. I've got just 3 in front of me.
You'd have Fred Dinage going in and sort of picking people out at random, asking for their hard luck stories about why they couldn't get tickets or couldn't afford the 10 bob for it. And Fred would produce 3 tickets out of his pocket, and he must have been giving 50 tickets, and nobody stopped to think, oh, hang about, that's why I can't get a ticket. You've got 50 in your pocket, you TV nonce.
I've got 3 tickets. I'm happy to give these tickets to you. That's excellent. One to you. If I was a lady, I'd kiss you. One to you. One to you. Thank you. Enjoy the match. Thanks very much.
We were the first to have cameras on the team coaches coming to Wembley, which was always good because you get the feeling of apprehension on the players and their players' point of view. So we tried to do things that were different.
But it's the journey of a lifetime for the second division footballers from Sunderland. There's Mickey Horswill and Billy Hughes, and our reporter on the left was Paul Doherty. They really are having the time of their lives here.
But there were some World of Sport innovations which missed the bus entirely.
Someone came up with this computer which was going to predict not only the overall score of the FA Cup final, but was going to break it up into 15-minute segments and tell us what was going to happen in each of those 15-minute segments, what the score was going to be, and who the scorers were. Phenomenal.
Let's now to the second half. Peter Lloyd, first of all, any comment from the computer before we start?
Yes, just coming up.
And the computer is saying what?
We've got Chelsea are superior at tackling.
It was so well cast, there was a kind of a boffin at one keyboard and then some sort of 60s model sitting at the other. And I'm sure what they did on the World of Sport computer was type things like Chelsea are a slightly better team, and then it came up. I think it was typing. I don't think there was any computing going on at all.
What if a young Bill Gates was watching that and was inspired?
That's right.
He might have been.
That was the prototype.
He was a big fan of World of Sport.
That was Windows 1970, wasn't it?
So the final result then, according to the computer, is Chelsea 2, Leeds United 3.
Meanwhile, back on planet Earth, the real final score was 2-all. Close, but no cigar.
Oh, gosh, those memories come flooding back and I'm always filling up. But the show must go on. We continue our countdown of the most watched ITV sporting highlights.
For 50 years, ITV has been a major sports broadcaster, covering all the big events and capturing hundreds of historic sporting moments. We break the ice with a look back to 1984.
Jane and Chris take the ice, and here they go for their 4th consecutive gold medal.
Having just won Olympic gold in Sarajevo, Torvill and Dean were hot property, and ITV landed the rights to show their last ever amateur appearance. They won their 4th consecutive gold medal performing their party piece to Ravel's Bolero. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Now for artistic impression. There can only be one mark, can't there? And there is. The parents are thrilled, everyone's thrilled. It couldn't be anything else.
so recent and treasured a sporting memory, this needs no introduction.
Johnny Wilkinson, he's done it! England in the lead with only 20 seconds to go.
The one thing I remember about it is the contact. When Johnny actually kicked the ball, you heard leather on leather as such, and it just sounded sweet. And then when the roar went up, you obviously knew that it went over.
You could not have written the script any better. You couldn't. You know, you don't want to go to drop goals. The way it finished was just beautiful. It was poetry.
People at that time with boxing, Saturday night, they would break all their habits, whether you dinner parties, out to the pub, out to the cinema. It all went by the wayside to watch these two fellas at it.
Boxing matches don't come much bigger than this. The grudge match to end all grudge matches. The Dark Destroyer meets simply the best pugilistic fop.
The rivalry with Penn and Eubank was very strong. That it wasn't for publicity purposes, that's for sure.
Just couldn't stand him. I really, really couldn't. It's just seeing him, I just wanted to jump on him and fight him.
When they came together, you got magic.
Two good shots now. Then take those reds. Oh, one. Almost got out of there, that Virgil. That was good. Oh, what a shot that was. Really shaking. Helped him up with the left hand. Ben is shaking. The eyes watch Reg. This will be the finish of the belt. It's all over in the 9th round.
Well, the crowd there and the viewers at home really got their money's worth there, didn't they? Join us after the break for some hot grappling action and the #1 most watched ITV sports event of all time.
Moving a long way towards Tony Adams. Oh, Campbell. It's Campbell who's finally got the touch.